Okay. Right. Today we're going to work on the tree a bit, give the tree a bit of depth by using Ultramarine Violet, Cadmium Red Light, and White. So I'm going to take Ultramarine Violet with the corner of my brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of red. Red is very strong. And let's put a bit of white in there. So you want to see more Ultramarine Violet than Cadmium Red Light, because you don't want it to be too red. And let's do this. So I'm just gonna clean my brush, and let's give this tree a bit of depth, meaning that the background or the part of the background will be darker so we can see the pink that we put in front. Otherwise everything looks the same and it's flat. The tree will look flat. But if you put a bit of background in there, meaning that you're seeing the leaves or the other side of the tree on the other side, it will look much better. And we don't need much, just a bit, just a couple brush stroke. More like I would say glazing in there, just kind of. And I'm using the corner of my brush. I'm not, although it looks like it's flat, I'm using the flat. I'm using the corner. And I can always go back and adjust if I want. If I find that I put too much and I need to add more highlights, I can do that. But already it looks much better.
It really changes it.
Yeah. If when it dries, if you find that some parts are too dark, it's okay. Just kind of put a bit of white in there, just a bit, and then go over certain areas, not everywhere. You need that dark in there. It's okay. I'm going to close some of these too, some of those blue gaps in there. I'm going to close some of them. Much nicer if it's closed. Too much blue in there. Okay, now you need the Alizarin Crimson one more time. See how I'm getting gaps now because I did some negative painting. I'm just going to take Alizarin Crimson and Cadmium Red Light with white. And make pink. The little highlights will make a big difference. It will push the tree forward. I'm kind of dabbing, but using also the corner of my brush. I also try to vary my change my pink. Sometimes I would put a little bit more cadmium red light in my alizarin crimson and white. Sometimes I put more alizarin crimson and white and a bit of cadmium red light. That will change the color a bit of the pink, so it's not all the same.
So those little dots that are on there, did you just use plain white?
Yeah.
I guess I missed that in the
Yeah.
last one.
Yes, just plain white. All right, that's enough. We don't need more than that. I'm gonna just pause a bit. Okay, so we're done with the tree. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the grass part. I have here sap green and cadmium yellow light. I already have a bit of purple, ultramarine violet, and cadmium red light. So if I need to add it to the sap green, I'm good. And I have white. So the new two colors on the palette is sap green and cadmium yellow light. So now we're going to try to get some of this kind of fluffy grass highlighted, and we'll keep underneath the tree a bit of shadow. All right, let's do that. I have also on the side, I'm going to try using a fan brush for the little kind of yellow that I'm going to put on top. I'm not going to use it right now, not yet. I'm going to keep using, for now, the flat or the bright and a round one. And I'm going to build up my highlights. So we're not going to, we'll take cadmium, sap green, cadmium yellow light, medium tone, not too light, not yet. Tiny bit of maybe red with the corner of your brush. Don't put too much. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. I'm going to start from the back. I'm using the corner of the brush. I'm trying to not, I don't want to completely lose the darks. Although I'm highlighting, I still need some of the dark. and also because acrylic dries darker. So when I get to this part, I'm just going to turn my brush around and hang the green over the darks that I have, the dark strip. So it's not a straight line. It goes straight and then it turns it curves with the movement of the ground. This green is dark enough, so I'm not worried, and it dries darker. I'm kind of highlighting mid-tone now, so I'm preparing for the highlights. Second layer, I'm going to take a fan brush. Actually, let's mix the color first. Sap Green, Cadmium Yellow Light, touch of red, very small amount of red, really like corner of your brush, just to make the sap green more earthy. I'm using the corner of the brush and I'm pushing out. And dab as well. Dabbing is fine, it gives you that beautiful grass kind of texture. Let's keep the back a little bit not too textured. So when we come to the front, the back doesn't compete with the front in terms of texture. So I'm overlapping a bit my brush strokes here to give it a denser look. I just have to keep an eye where I'm putting the highlights, because I don't want to lose the shadow of the tree. Let's make it a tiny bit more organic, so it's not a line here, like a straight line. Okay, let's keep the highlights in front. Let's work on the front. And then we'll deal with the back. Now I'm going to darken a little bit using Sap Green, just kind of mid-tone, and just kind of put that highlight in the back, so the back doesn't compete with the front. And also, we're going to be putting a tiny bit of here and there, just kind of a little bit of highlights here, so it doesn't look like it's, you know, dark patch. I'm going to take now my, do you want me to stop a bit before I move to the next step, or you're okay?
I'm good. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I'm moving now on to cadmium yellow light with a bit of green, but I'm also going to put some pink eventually. But with this round brush, I'm just going to add dabs of yellow. Those little things that I'm putting in here right now, this little kind of, it looks like dabs of sun seeping through the branches and the leaves where the shadow is. Now we have more control over the brush stroke because we're using a round brush. Cadmium Yellow Light. It has a bit of green in there. So far, what we're doing is a lot of green in here, but we will, in a minute, start adding a little bit of warm colors. Okay. Let's do a tiny bit of a couple of grass underneath, all around the tree, in a more of a mid-tone, not too highlight. Right. Okay. Good. Now, you take cadmium red light, cadmium yellow light, and make an orange. And you can see this orange is very strong. I'm going to take a little bit of this green. It's a combination of, the green is a combination of green and cadmium yellow light. And I'm going to add some of this green to the orange to tone it down. And I'm going to come here and put a couple of orange, toned down orange for now. That will make a big difference to the cool color, the green color that we have. After putting this orange and making those greens, we have a little bit more putting a little bit of warm colors in there. I'm just looking at the camera and I can see here, oh, it's very, needs a bit of green in here, tone down green. Mid-tone. Just shapes the tree a bit more. Okay. Now, same. I'm going to take yellow, cadmium yellow light with green. Touch of red. And you can see right away that your color green becomes, when you put red in it, a little bit more subdued, a little bit more earthy. Now I'm adding white. Let's put some water in here. Perfect. Let's put a bit more red, white. And yellow. And less, more white and yellow, less green. Good. So this is white and yellow, not too much green in it. See how strong this beautiful yellow is? It gives us a really beautiful highlight in here, especially the ones in the front. And it doesn't hurt to put a couple of dots here and there. It's a kind of a mid-tone color here. The only reason I'm doing this is just because I want to show the branches of the tree, and behind the tree it doesn't have to be dark, because this is a further away kind of grass in the background, and it can be lighter. But putting a bit of highlight in here, you can see the tree better. So I'm trying kind of, what I'm doing right now is I'm reshaping, doing negative painting. I'm reshaping not reshaping, but showing the branches more by highlighting the background. Let's give this background a little bit of highlight in here. And a couple of little kind of dabs here and there in here. And they're not in the strong highlighted yellow or green. It's kind of medium tone. It's just because you don't want your painting to look like it's unfinished in one area, and you have a lot of strong detail around flat. So I'm trying to, where I see flat surfaces, I want some movement, some texture, but I don't want it to be strong. So I'm kind of using a very mid-tone kind of grassy kind of brushstroke. See, like where you have flat, it's flat. So if you want to give it a bit of movement, all we have to do is, and we still want it to be in the shadow area, all we have to do is kind of use a darker green. It will still be in the shadow area, but at least it has texture. It's not flat. There. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to put a couple of dots of pink, just because it's nice to have the pink repeat around where the grass is, but not much. We're just going to put a couple. We don't want too much of it, of the pink in there, because there's a lot of pink in this painting. But because in the picture you can see the pink in the background, the pink in the front and in the middle, and then a couple here in the front. Could be wildflowers, it could be anything. It could be some leaves from the tree. Now, if I want to get the attention, grab more attention, I could use cadmium red light, a little bit of white, and those little dots of red will add a really nice movement and energy to the painting. You don't have to put them. It's up to you. More like what I'm trying to do is more like a pinkish kind of red, not too strong, but that will infuse the painting with energy. And it's only red, cadmium red light, and actually cadmium red light and pink, the light pink I had in there. I'm going to take the same and put some in here as well, in the background. There's not too much red in here, but there is some. So we can see them. I'm going to tone down this red here because I want to add it where the shadow part is, because it doesn't make sense that there's no red in here where the shadow is. It's all over. But what I did is I made my red darker by using green, mixing red and green, more red than green. This green will tone down the red. Green I'm mixing. Doesn't matter if it's light green or dark green, the sap green that you have. So this way I can put a couple of dots where the shadow part is. There. You can add as many red, as many color, as many flowers as you want here. I'm going to take white at this point. I'm going to take yellow, but more white. It's a yellow, green yellow. Because the reason I'm doing this is just because the acrylic dries darker. So I'm enhancing the highlight a bit because it dries really dark. So once it's dry, I can go back and add highlights in here. And this highlight is going to dry darker again, but not as dark as before. And it's going to give the painting more life and energy in the front part. Let's get some yellow, cadmium yellow light. Just makes this field look much nicer. I'm just putting a bit of cadmium yellow light in here. Actually, it needs white. Okay. All right, I think it's enough. I'm going to put a tiny bit more highlights right here because I don't want it to look like it's disconnected, this part behind the tree. Tiny bit, not too much highlight. It's just kind of medium tone, more than a medium tone. Yeah, that's better. And a couple of dots here and here, so it looks like the light is actually going through the tree and hitting the grass. Okay, then oh, and then that's it, done. We're good. Okay. Now we can easily add a bit of clouds in here. Very simple, tiny bit of clouds. White and blue. I'm gonna stop for a minute. All right, so I've decided to take sap green, a little bit of red, and a bit of yellow, and make a dark kind of color in here, dark green, and come over here and give this part a little bit of glazing at the bottom. It just makes the pink pop. And then I'm just gonna kind of blend it softly into the rest of the green that I have in there. And I'm using now a highlighted green, and I'm using a very small brush, highlighted green, the same green but with more yellow in it. And I'm just going to go in and just kind of soften the green that's from the dark to the light to the rest of the paintings. Just soften it a bit. Just soften this kind of connection from dark to light. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Much better. It's only green, sap green, bit of red, and tiny bit of red, a tiny bit of yellow. I had some yellow green in here, so I just added to it. And small brush, and kind of with the corner of the brush, push the color up. Just give it more depth here, stronger darks, so the light colors in front will show more. Okay, awesome. All right, some more. I know I had here some tree trunks, but actually we don't need that. Perfect. There is a strong green right there. I don't like the shape, so I'm going to take a little bit of pink and camouflage it. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Good. Now we can attempt to put a bit of clouds in there in the sky. Highlight the water a bit in certain areas so it doesn't look like it's just flat water, flat blue. You can take, I think we used cerulean and white, so I'm going to use the same thing, cerulean, bit of cerulean, had titanium white, medium brush, mix a very light blue. Let's put a bit of water here so it doesn't look like it's heavy. And let's take a bit of, couple of very soft clouds with the corner of my brush. I'm just spreading this blue in here, light blue. It just gives the sky some movement. And this is optional, of course. If you're happy with the sky the way it is, just leave it. Don't do anything. Okay. Sky is good. Let's do this water part. Same idea. I'm just going to give it a bit of highlights. Let's put water in here. You know, put the color down, put it down, even if you're not sure. And whatever happens, you can always change it. But you have to experiment. I'm darkening the color a bit, adding more blue. This is enough in here. And I'm just gonna, all I'm doing is I'm giving this water a bit of variation in the value. Because water is like this, you can see it, you can see that sometimes, where's the camera? You can see sometimes it will reflect more light, more white. I'm using the corner of the brush. I know it looks flat on the camera, but it's not flat. I'm using the corner. Let's put some water in here. So now I'm adjusting the values just using blues, dark blue, light blue, and just make this water a bit more interesting. It's important that the paint, when you're doing water, that the paint is not too dry, because it will lose that transparency. I am using a flat brush right now because it's a different kind of brush stroke. Before I was using just a corner, but now I'm using the flat brush because I'm going up and down with my brush stroke. All right. I'm just glazing a bit because I thought I'm finding that the white is too strong, the light blue, in certain areas. So I'm adding more of the cerulean blue with the white and just kind of softening this reflection. All right. Now let's take a couple of brush strokes of pink. Just the same pink we were using before. Jeez. Okay. Perfect example when you mess up something. Here, we're going to put some blue over that again, and it'll be fine. Now let's take some pink again, and make sure that the pink is clean and lighter than what I had it before. It was a little bit too strong. So I'm going to take white, touch of alizarin in there, and clean my brush, and then go over this. Yep, that's better. Much better. It was too dark before. Okay, we're good. So we're done with this project. We're going to choose a new one. We'll choose a new one now. All right, this project is done. We're moving on to a new project for next week.